Hello, 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 my friends. Happy Thursday. Thankful. I am Shannon, and most of you know that because you're my friends and family, right? But this is my Radiant Wrap, where we just kind of break things down. The Radiant stands for rest, activity awareness, diet, introspection, agua for water, nutrition, and training. All the things that are necessary to live healthy and whole, in my belief. It's not just about exercising, it's not just about um, uh, having a spiritual life. We need to be whole. And during the course of this year, we've been pretty consistently um, sharing live so that I could quite honestly overcome some of my fear of judgment and um, just going live. Some of you probably have similar discomforts, just being judged and stuff like that. So I'm still working through that, but I am definitely not where I used to be. And it turned out to be a really good thing because I had an opportunity just a couple of months ago to do some live recording, and I felt more confident because I had some experience with it, and that was a really good experience. Today we have a guest, and she's getting ready. She's just getting home from work, so I'm giving her a few moments to come on live with us. And while she's doing that, I really want to thank you all. This month is Breast Cancer Awareness, and several of you have given to the fundraiser that I had for research. Still going on. It's not too late to give. Thank you from the bottom of my heart for giving. And if you have not already, you can still give. All of the 100%, even Facebook isn't taking any money from the organization. The 100% of the money goes to the breast cancer research, which I think is awesome. And I really appreciate whatever it is that you can give. No amount is too small. So thank you for that. And as we're now going into the last quarter of the year, the holiday season, I really want to encourage you all to um, be diligent about caring for your bodies. Be diligent about uh, your appointments if you haven't gotten those doctor visits in. I know a lot of things we put off, especially during the pandemic, and we weren't doing them, right? And now it's get those doctor appointments in, you know? Um, we want to make sure we're caring for our bodies, not just waiting until 2022, not just waiting until January. Let's ramp up. So you'll see a few things over the next couple of months that'll help you be consistent with that. Um, and for today, I thought it was really, I'm honored actually to have the guest that I'm about to bring on. Her name is Adriana Guldalian, and I may be mispronouncing her name. So when she comes on, she's smiling. So when she comes on in a minute, she'll correct us. But I've known Adriana now, I think we met, I don't, maybe 10 years ago. And she's such a super cool woman. And when I heard her story, there was a part of me that it broke my heart, but it was another part of me that was so inspired because her struggle was so challenging. And we all have struggles. And what I admire about Adriana is that she took every bit of struggle that she had and poured it into helping others. So I'm gonna have Adriana come on with me.
Hello.
Hi, Adriana.
Hi, how are
Welcome.
you?
Adriana, I call this Radiant Wrap, where we just kind of talk about all things wellness, health and wellness. It's not just about food, it's not just about exercise. And I'm so glad you could join us today. Welcome.
Thank you for having me. I really appreciate it.
Well, it's really, I think, an important conversation to have. And it's really important what you do. And did I say your last name right?
Actually, you did. Yes.
Wonderful. Okay, yay. Yay for me. So, Adriana is president and founder of the Affirmations Project, which provides emotional and financial support for cancer survivors and domestic violence victims. So, wow, right? I'm going to jump right in, Adriana, and ask this is really a big question. What was the biggest part of your journey so far, and how did you overcome it? What has been the biggest part of your journey, and how did you overcome it?
Um, so the biggest struggle or challenge that I have to overcome was starting my life again from zero, from scratch, because I had to basically escape from a situation that I knew if I didn't make that move at that particular moment, maybe I would not be here today. So I had to put everything in the trunk of my car when I had a window of opportunity. And whatever I could put in that car is what came with me. And I drove away for 18 hours just to run away from that dangerous situation. And basically, I had to start again from zero. I had to leave my job. I have to sell my car and get a new car. I have to leave the city, and I had to cut connections with anyone who I had in my life for 10 years, because I knew there was any um, way that this person could find me, he would. And I knew he was ready to hurt me. So it
How
was,
long ago was it, Adriana? How long has it been now?
so that was about, wow, I think it's gonna be 16, about 16, 15, 16 years. Hmm.
Now, do you feel like, not outing your age or anything, but do you feel like being a younger person has anything to do with being a domestic violence victim, or age has nothing to do with it?
Wow. That domestic violence doesn't discriminate about, it's not about age, race, it's not about social status, it's not about uh, how rich or poor you are. It has nothing to do with your profession or how well educated or uneducated you are. You never know. As a matter of fact, for me, to this day, I still wonder how I myself ended up on that situation, because
Wow.
I have always been known for being a feisty person who
Mm.
always stood up for myself and from others, and who never backed down from an argument, or if I felt that someone was being treated poorly, I didn't care if I knew the person or not. I will stand up for them. So the thing is that these men or these abusers, because it's not exclusive to men. There's a lot of women also who are abusive, but just like people who have that personality, they just know a way to brainwash you, and you just fall on their trap without even knowing that you're falling in that trap.
And I want to talk about that a little bit more too. So, well, because the Affirmation Project focuses on these victims, which you were one, but you just mentioned something interesting, that men can be abused as well. They're not only the abusers, women can be abusers too. And I don't think that we talk about that as much. Maybe the numbers aren't as high. What do you have to say about men who are abused and
So
women who are abusers?
there's a stigma for men to admit that they're being abused by a woman, because it kind of like challenges them as the dominant gender, because that's the stereotype. Men are supposed to be strong, and they're supposed to be the strong, and they so for them to admit that they're being abused at home. So I think actually that the number of men who are undergoing like abusive relationships is higher than we think, because they're not just ready to admit it. Like, women are now more open to talk about it, even though we're not ready to talk about it. And a lot, sometimes we just kind of like keep it private. We want to tell a story to who we want them to hear it, but men rarely talk about it, even if
Yeah.
it's really bad. Yeah.
Wow. Okay, well, I want to ask you this because one of the things that was like, it made me feel like I've got to have a conversation with Adriana so that people can hear what her story and challenges has been and help people. It was from your IG page. On your IG page, you have a post that says, let's talk more about the many ways abusers control their victims and less about why the victims stay. And when I saw that post, now listen to it again, friends, whether you're watching this live or whether you're watching it on the replay, the IG Instagram post says, let's talk more about the many ways abusers control their victims and less about why the victims stay. So I was like, okay, let's talk about it. So the first part I want to ask you, uh, why or how are what are the many ways that abusers control their victims?
So these people are like, they are basically psychopaths, and they're very smart and creative. They control people financially, emotionally. They control them with violence. And if violence against the victim does not work, they threaten violence against their family and friends.
Wow.
So sometimes, if somebody's ready to leave, and this person knows that breaking a bone doesn't work anymore, that punching this person on the face or breaking a rib, or maybe hurting them in ways that people cannot see, is not working anymore, and they see that they're losing the grip on that victim, then they threaten violence against their loved ones, even
Mm.
sometimes against their pets. If they have a pet that they love, a cat or a dog, or anything that is meaningful to that person, that they know is important to that person, that threaten to take it
Did
away.
that happen to you, Adriana? Did that happen to you?
Yes.
Your family was threatened. I mean, all the things that you just said:
Yeah. So
physical abuse, emotional abuse,
this
financially.
and this is
All.
something that my family even doesn't know, because I have always been very private and protective of them. So,
Mm-hmm.
but this person knew that I am very close to my family, and he threatened me because he already knew. You know what? I'm not going to sit down here and tell people I was being victimized and I'm fighting back, because that's not me. I fought back all the way, but I'm 4'11" and he was 5'11", almost 6 feet tall. So it was not a fair match. But I never said I was a quiet one and just to take the abuse quietly. But it was very unhealthy, and it just progressively got worse. And
Mm-hmm.
he knew that he was losing his grip on me. He knew that there was no more pushing or punching or more threats that were working. So he changed that to, okay, so that's not working. If you do this, or if you leave, or you do that, this is going to happen to this person. So I had to be very smart about how I did what I did, and it took
Who
me.
helped you? Who helped you escape?
I had to
You
do it.
didn't want.
I didn't want, and I didn't want to bring anyone into it, because I was afraid he would retaliate if he knew somebody had helped me.
Wow,
So
wow, wow.
I planned my escape for 2 years. I had to
For 2 years.
very hard. Yes, it took me 2 years to do it the right way, where I knew that he was far away from my family enough that so we lived in another state, and I convinced him to go back to Miami. I said, let's go back. We can buy the place that you always wanted, and you want to be close to your family and all of that. So I put that in his mind. I kind of use reverse psychology. Like I knew what he wanted. So okay, I said I'm gonna give it to him, but I'm gonna give it to him on my terms. So I worked it that way. So he thought I was going to do something nice for him. So when
Mhm.
we were there, he was away from everybody that I loved. Then that's when I start planning. Okay, now I'm here. This is the first part of my plan. Now the second stage was planning how to get out.
Wow. 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 So let me switch gears a bit in a way, because I think if I remember your sharing, that happened first. Then you were diagnosed. You got away from him. And then I don't know how long you were liberated from that terrible situation before you were diagnosed. Can you tell us a little bit about the cancer diagnosis?
So life really, like I always have a saying, life has is a cruel teacher. It teaches you lessons in a very cruel way, but it makes you stronger.
Mm.
And it
Yeah.
sounds cliche, but it really is. What doesn't kill you makes you stronger. And I know people say, "Oh, blah blah blah," that's so cliche, but it's just like until you are in that situation, you're not understanding that it's really true. So
Right.
I got out of that situation. Was about a year, and then I met someone, my current husband,
Mhm.
who at the beginning, and not to like sidetrack my conversation, but it was a difficult relationship because maybe I was making him pay for the sins of the last one.
Mhm.
Whatever he
Mhm.
did, I always retaliated. I always say, "Oh no, you're not gonna control me." Or it was so it was so it was hard for him. And one day I said, "This man really loves me,"
Mm.
because I was really making him work for that relationship.
Yeah. You
Yeah,
had no trust. I mean, you had, yeah.
yeah.
I understood.
So I was ready for a fight at any time, and he will
Mm.
tell me, "I'm not him. I'm not gonna argue
Mhm.
with you. I'm not gonna push you, and I'm not him." So I was finally starting to understand that I could have a healthy relationship and someone
Mhm.
who loved me, and
Mhm.
so I was happy finally. And then it was 4 years after I left that I got diagnosed with cancer. I was already with my current husband. We had
What year was that?
2014.
Right. I think
Yeah,
this was right before I met you.
yes.
Not, yeah. Mhm.
So, right after 2014, we had been married for 1 year.
Yeah.
We hardly. And so I was diagnosed with a rare type of cancer that presented on my breast, and but it's not breast cancer. It's
Mhm.
called angiosarcoma,
Mhm.
and it's primary angiosarcoma, which normally people who have been exposed to a lot of radiation or other cancer treatments get sarcomas as secondary cancer.
Mm.
But I got it as a primary cancer, which is very rare. So my prognosis wasn't very good. When they told me my prognosis, they told me, I think it was, I want to say March March 18, 2014. And then a week later, I was undergoing surgery
Wow.
because they told me we had to move fast because this cancer is aggressive and it moves fast. And then my prognosis was not good.
Mhm.
But it's been almost 10 years. I'm still here.
Yay.
Yeah.
Yay. So let me ask you this. What was the biggest what was the biggest self-discovery or revelation after you were diagnosed?
Um, so I lost my breast to cancer, and a lot of women, when I was going through the treatment and all of that, I didn't have chemotherapy because there was no chemo for it. But I had the surgery, and then I had radiation for 6 weeks, which was very intrusive, and I got burned really bad. So I will go to this treatment every day for 6 weeks. And the other women that were there, it's kind of like a community. You get to know everybody who goes there every day, so you support each other. And they will approach me and say, "But you walk in the room, and if you don't tell us that you have cancer or that you lost your breast, nobody's gonna notice it." And like I didn't even realize, and I wasn't wearing any prosthetics or anything. And I
Mhm.
said, well, maybe it's because I do not wear it on my shoulders. My breasts did not define me. They were part of who I am, but it's not really who I was as a person. And
Mhm.
yeah, I'm not gonna say I'm happy that I don't have breasts, but that's not gonna break me because I have been broken before.
Yes,
So
ma'am.
at that moment when I said that, I realized that all of that I have gone before, cancer, had basically prepared me to confront that battle.
Wow.
Because when I was going through the domestic violence situation, it's just
Mhm.
like you lose your will to live little by little. You
Mm.
you do not find joy in life anymore. They make you believe like you're not worth it, that you're ugly, that you are stupid, that you're not capable, that you're not gonna be able to make it without them. They make you believe if I don't have this person
Mhm.
in my life, I'm going to fail and I'm going to be a failure. So they brainwash you into fearing a life aside from that person, and so I felt trapped to this
Mhm.
point that I just didn't want to live anymore, and
Mhm.
I even considered taking my own life. And I planned how I was gonna do it. And when the day
Mm.
came, I was so just like ready to let go. And it was the strangest thing. I heard this voice so loud and clear that told me, "It's not your time yet.
Mm.
You have a purpose."
Yes.
I get chills every time I remember that because it was like I'm talking with you. I was in
Wow.
this room, and then I left with my plan. I knew I was gonna get in my car and never come back home.
Mm.
And when I was in that car, I heard that voice
Mm.
that told me, "It's not your time yet. You have a purpose."
And that purpose, part of it is this affirmation project. Tell
Exactly.
us about the affirmation project.
So I always felt there's a lot of women that struggle with a sense of loss of beauty after surviving cancer because our bodies change. We have a lot of scars. We're never the same. Our
Mhm.
skin changes. We don't look like our skin changes. Our body change. Even our emotional health suffers. So I always felt I wanted to support these women and just give them a place and show them by example and bring other women to show them that you can survive cancer and have a productive life, and it's not always a death sentence anymore. And I always wanted to help these women who suffer under trauma by domestic
Mhm.
violence or other kinds of trauma, and also that they have been dealing with self-love issues,
Mhm.
that a
Mhm.
lot of women do not love themselves. They're always trying
Yep.
to compare to someone else. uh,
Yep.
they're always trying to compare to the next person.
Yes.
She's prettier, or she has a better job, or she has
Yes.
a better husband, or she's so popular and she has so many friends and she has such a beautiful body. And we always competing with other women, not knowing that maybe other women are looking at us the same way. Because I just feel like if we could see ourselves through the eyes of other people, how they see us, and they see all the potential that we have and
Yes.
all that we had to offer, um, we'd be a lot happier.
Yes.
So I'm 4'11". I have a thick accent. I have so many things going against me that that I always thought, you know what, I'm gonna make it. I'm gonna prove to this person and I'm gonna prove to that person that were bullying me when I was in high school, making fun of me because I didn't speak any English when I came here. I was 17 and I had a thick accent. I still have a thick accent. I'm 4'10", and so I have all of these things that people always like to pick on me, but they quickly realize that I might be 4'10" in size, but I'm
Ugh.
6'11" in personality.
Yes, you are, Adriana. Adriana. So let me ask you just one or two more questions. Why the name of the Affirmation Project?
So this name came to me in a dream. I always knew I wanted to do something to uh, to provide a safe place for women to restore self love and self acceptance. So at the beginning, I was thinking about I am. I always like the word I am. I
Mm-hmm.
am beautiful. I am capable. I'm worthy. But then one day I was dreaming and I was like the affirmations, and I kind of like in this dream I saw everything. And then after that, everywhere I went, I will see affirmation this, affirmation that. So I'm like, okay, God, I hear you. It's the affirmations. And then I was like, what can be more powerful than having women have identify the affirmation word and paint it on their bodies to own it, and just to it's like a seal of honor. This is your affirmation word, and release it to the world, and tell your story, so that you can I think once you're able to tell your story in a safe, when you're safe,
Mm-hmm.
you feel safe, and when you feel you're ready to tell your story, and you tell your story, is healing.
It's
And also you
healing.
to
Yes.
know that you're able with your story to help other women that feel trapped, that they think there's no way out, there's no better way, or that their life is over. So the Affirmations Project is about self-love, about recognizing your value as a person, as a human being, and just about believing in yourself.
I love it. And I love your Instagram page with all the photos of the women with their affirmations on them. It's so beautiful, Adriana.
Thank you.
It's just really beautiful and so inspiring, so encouraging. Women, and even now, like this is the first time I don't have any questions on the screen. There's, and there may be some that come after the live, but I think in part because if you're suffering, it's still so private.
Exactly. Yes.
And so, if someone is suffering with domestic abuse, or they're suffering as a cancer, someone going through or have gone through cancer, can they reach out to you? Can they send you a private message, or what would you recommend
Of
that
course.
they do?
Listen, I was just talking about this on my board yesterday.
Hmm.
um, Domestic violence is something that you only can talk about when you're ready for it, and a lot of times it's so private. I know in my experience, I was almost ashamed that a person that was so strong, I felt like a failure, I felt like a fake, because I was always fighting for others, telling my friends who were asking me for advice not to take abuse for anyone. So I nobody knew about my situation
Hmm.
after many years after I was out of it, because I just never I was ashamed of telling people, because I felt
Hmm.
like the strong woman who will not back down from a fight is being abused at home. So I totally understand people are not always comfortable talking about it, but
Yes.
we have a Facebook page. It's the Affirmations Project, and we also have a website. It's the Affirmations. It's always plural. Affirmations Project, and our email address and our phone numbers are there. And I am on Facebook as well as Adriana Guldalian, and I am on Instagram on the Affirmations Project as well. So there's many ways that people can reach out if they need
Hmm.
assistance, because we provide financial assistance for women who are struggling. We just need to meet some criteria. Uh,
Hmm.
but if we also gonna be planning some get-together, some events, and if they can little by little become part of our group as they get comfortable. There's many
Right.
ways, yeah. So they can reach out by Instagram, by Facebook, or through our website.
Okay, so you all hear it. You all have heard it. Please do, even after the live, if you've been encouraged by this, put your hearts, post your hearts. Go check out Adriana's Facebook page, her Instagram page. Let her know how much you appreciate what she's doing, and I do. I so appreciate you. I am so inspired by what you're doing to help women. Can men, like men that are abused, can they reach out to you too? Have
So our group is specifically for women.
Okay.
But if there was a man that who will reach out to us, I will try to find a resource for him.
Yeah, it's hard. It's harder for the men
Yeah,
probably.
but I'm sure
Yeah.
that, because, for example, the Spring of Tampa, they have that's a shelter for domestic violence victims.
Yes.
Even though most of the clients are women, there's some men also in there.
Oh, I didn't know that. I
Yeah,
didn't know that. All
and
right.
some other agencies that provide services for both men and women.
Okay. So if you are in need of some support as a victim of domestic violence or as a cancer, someone who's been diagnosed with cancer, reach out to Adriana. And I tell you, thank you from the bottom of my heart for all the work that you're doing. Anything going on right now? Anything coming up, like projects specifically for in the next couple of months or so? What are you working on?
So I wanted to clarify, it's not only for breast cancer survivors. Our group is for cancer survivors.
Right,
If
for cancer.
anything,
Very good. Thank you.
yes. So
Thanks for that clarification. For any type of cancer.
yeah, we
Okay.
are publishing a
Mm-hmm.
book, a compilation of all of the stories and photographs of all of the galleries for the last 5 years, and it's gonna be the launch is gonna be on April 24th, which is gonna be our gala. We have a main gala, a main fundraiser, so we have that on April, and then in January we're gonna have a social event. And and we also gonna have a Christmas get together on December 4th. So I will be posting all of that on our pages, and if
Okay.
the cancer survivors are there or domestic violence survivors that want to join us, just please reach out and make sure that you reach out to me so that I can put you on the list or make sure that I know you're coming, and I will be happy to have you. Yes.
Well, thank you. I mean, I really appreciate you. And Adriana rushed home from work. She's like got all this stuff going on, and you took the time out to come on and have a conversation with us. So thank you so much.
No, thank you.
Yeah, God bless you and continue with your work. Everybody, thank you for hanging out. Like I said, share your comments. We appreciate you. You have greatness inside of you. I believe in you. You just start where you are and do what you can. I love you, and there is nothing you can do about it. Bye.
Thank you. I really appreciate you having me. Bye.
Thank you.